The sons of Kiss members Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons have teamed up to have a new record out. I'm going to tell you what they said, what they did, what their plans are moving forward, and what the Kiss Army, similar to the I Love Music Army, is saying about this because it's crazy, wild, mad. In this edition of the Steve Champagne Radio Show. Welcome back to the show, everybody. New viewers to the channel, how you doing? Thank you for watching. The I Love Music Army is back, I'm sure, again, and we appreciate that. Right here from the Steve Champagne Radio Show in a no-shave November as I'm looking gruffy, but that's okay. We have some interesting news here, and how Kiss seems to do this over and over and over again is beyond me. And I kind of got to applaud it, but we'll get to all this stuff. But let me ask you this question. Actually, I have two questions. One, are you just a casual rock fan? Or are you a Kiss fan? Or are you a Kiss fan and, a rock and roll fan? I'd like to know that in the comment section. I read every single comment before I go to bed at night. A lot of times I chirp back. I can't wait for the live shows to begin, which are going to be happening soon. After the first of the year, we want you to be a part of it, so join us. One of the fastest growing channels right here on YouTube. But let's get to the news of this Stanley-Simmons project that Nick and Evan have embarked on. Now, considering that, Gene and Paul have been together for 50 years, 50-something years, just together, knowing each other before they got famous, playing, doing all the things that they were doing. They've known each other all their life, so it's really not strange for Nick and Evan to know each other and, have some fun and a lot of communication. They just grew up together, really, so it's not strange for that to happen, but we have some percussions and repercussions, if you will, because of that relationship. First off, they said they had no idea that we were going to start a band, but now it's all they think about, which I'm sure their parents had something to do with those two teaming up, and now a second generation of Kiss in a different role. But, I haven't heard them, so I don't know how good or bad they are or what type of music to expect from these guys. But let's get to the news. December 5th is the magical day for their new song to drop, which I'm excited for. And if you really think about it, Kiss fans, or people that just like Kiss in general, you got Peter Criss's new album coming out at about the same time. Is that coincidental? They got the Kennedy Center Honors where everybody's going to be there, except, unfortunately, Ace, which his tragic passing, affected a lot of people, and it was really sad. Sad news. I'm still a little shaken up over it and in disbelief that he's actually gone, really. But these young boys have got some big shoes to fill, and here's why. Generally speaking, and I mean generally, I'm not talking all the time, I'm saying generally speaking, the sons or daughters of legends just don't make it in the industry that their parents made it in. They just don't. If you look at Mammoth, Wolfgang Van Halen, who is the son of, some consider, the greatest guitar player or one of the greatest guitar players of all time, depending on your opinion. If he can't dominate the charts, if he can't sell out, if he can't, do this, what makes anybody think their kid can? Well, if anybody could do it on a marketing standpoint, even if they were just Gene and Paul would be able to tell them what to do because they have made a fortune in marketing and sales other than records, which is very, very impressive. Perhaps the most successful band in marketing in the history of music. Maybe. I don't know. You have to chime in the comment section and tell me how wrong or right I am about that. But is it really a coincidence now that, this song is going to drop right about the time Peter Criss albums drops, and some Kiss fans are saying Gene and Paul are, made this happen at the same time, to purposely take attention away from Peter Criss and what he's doing. And whose album do you think is going to be better, the Peter Criss record or the Nick and Evan record, the Stanley-Simmons record? And, that's definitely something I'd like to hear from in the comments section. Now, Evan's band Amber Wild did open up for Kiss in 2023. And even though this project is the Stanley-Simmons project, the critics are going to call this band not Kiss, but Miss if it's bad. So that's probably going to end up being the name of the band if they're terrible. I have high hopes and wonder what we're going to get from this duo. I have never heard any of them play, and I'm not going to go look for anything. When I hear this for the first time, I don't want to prejudge them on any video clips I've ever seen, so I'm not even going to search for it because I want a complete fresh take, and I'll give you, the I Love Music Army, my honest opinion. And while you're at it, hey, join us, the I Love Music Army, our internet musical global family of friends. I read all the comments before I go to bed tonight, chime back at most of them, and this is one of the fastest growing music channels right here on YouTube. It's going to be a busy 45 days for Kiss fans between the Peter Criss record, this Stanley-Simmons project, the Kennedy Center Honors. What are they going to do for Ace at the Kennedy Center Honors since he tragically died just a short time ago? Wow. So if you're a Kiss fan, you definitely want to be a part of the channel because I'm going to keep you updated, tell you everything, all my thoughts on all things Kiss that's coming up over the next 45 days. In the meantime, hey, keep the music playing and the good times rolling. We appreciate it.